Hi, I'm Reese Lawton and this is MainScream Media, watching the mainstream news so you don't have to. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's check under the mainstream media tree and see who's got a lump of news coal. Yes. 'Twas the night before COVID, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Don't blame the mouse. Lying comatose from all the leftover work, wine and cheese. But seriously, COVID? Omicron? Anyone home? Oh, hang on, I think he's woken up.
We don't think today that there is enough evidence to justify any tougher measures before Christmas.
Yes, the PM's Christmas COVID message. Nothing. Hope the Queen's a bit more of a laugh. Sky-high cases? Sure. But it might be all right, yeah? And leave him alone. He's busier than Santa, what with all those last-minute prezzies for all his millions of kids. Just everyone cross their fingers. New Year? Oh, probably a massive lockdown. Sorry, I meant we'll look at the data, then have a massive lockdown. Good work, PM, uniting all the papers in confusion. You're right, Reese, that is fucking ridiculous. Sorry, just setting up the flashback for when they tell us that they did all they could in June. And don't forget all the guidance, that stuff we just ignored last year, said Boris, his nose flashing brighter than Rudolph from all that partying that definitely didn't happen. How on earth does he keep a straight face? Or the sleigh guiding, I guess. Oh, Boris? Pfft, no idea.
I'm responsible for everything that the government does, and of course I take a personal responsibility.
That's my worry. Oh, they've screwed over hospitality too, hinting that there might be a load of new restrictions, even though there aren't. Kind of changes people's plans, doesn't it? Ah, hang on, quick, better do something about that. Ask Mr. Scrooge at number 11, is old Ebenezer back from California yet?
I will always respond proportionately and appropriately to the situation that we face.
That is your job, isn't it? Particularly when it's all self-inflicted. Few pennies for hospitality, naff all for travel again. Speaking of which, how was the West Coast, mate? Partying? Oh, meeting private healthcare firms. Is that any better? Just say it was a holiday. For a government that followed the science, or rather blamed it all on boffins, it's certainly a bold strategy. All the eggheads are queuing up to insist on more rules to curb the spread of Omicron. If everyone gets it at the same time, even if most aren't that sick, there's still loads of people ending up in hospital, pushing the NHS off a cliff. So why has Boris chosen now to not follow them? Principle? Discovered a libertarian if highly risky streak? Not a bit of it. Simple politics. To quote Santa's sweariest elf Jeff, his authorities shot to shit.
If it was in the interest of the Conservative Party, would you resign?
Sam, can I just remind you everything I've been saying throughout this interview, which is that is exactly the kind of question that qualifies, that breaks the golden rule.
Yeah, Sam, remember the golden rule. Ask the right questions. More COVID, less Tory infighting. Except they're both so intertwined it's hard to see where one ends and the other begins. Think Dominic Raab's head up Boris's arse. Actually, don't. No, I didn't make a picture for that one. After last week's huge rebellion, it's clear more rules need Labour support, and that kind of looks a little like Boris is in coalition with this guy as Deputy PM. Sorry, Dom. No, relax, it's okay. You're still Deputy PM. Someone get him a Pret? No, not the Christmas one, the usual. Much easier not to do anything. Look at Wales and Scotland. Crowds banned from the football, fines for going to work, New Year's stuff scrapped, and the return of the rule of 6. And look where being brave gets you.
Could you cut the requirement for self-isolation?
Yeah, that would really help, because that would spread infection even further, and that would be not doing any favours to businesses. I don't know if you've listened to a single word I said, Michael.
Normally, a Prime Minister would relish facing down any rebels, exactly like Sturgeon did there. Not this one. Not after losing a rock-solid seat in a by-election. True blue North Shropshire to the Lib Dems.
3, 2, 1...
Don't laugh, it's their big moment. Year 3 wants their project back, Tim. That catastrophic defeat seemed as likely as Dominic Raab becoming PM. Oh, sorry, Dom, I thought you'd gone. All very embarrassing, wasn't it? Bit of a mea culpa? Nah, ignore it.
What people want to know is, rather than having all these noises off and distractions, they want the government to be focused on the core priorities of the British people.
Problem is, Ollie, you can say booster jabs all you like, but all the public's hearing right now is one rule for them, another for us. Trust is at an all-time low. Even if they did push new measures through, would anyone follow them? Especially as it's been another week, another photo of another bloody party at Downing Street. Wine and cheese, Carrie's there, and oh, baby Wilf, look! Matt Hancock standing like a lonely boy at a Year 6 disco. Dominic Cummings looking like, well, Dominic Cummings, if you look closely. Lovely family gathering.
It was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced.
No, a different one, Allegra. No, not the quiz night either. Or the Tory HQ one. So many getting confusing. This was right at the start, 15th of May 2020, when only 2 people were allowed to meet up outside 2 metres apart.
Just look at the photo and ask yourself, is that a work meeting going on or is that a social event?
Hang on, I know this one. No, it's gone. Actually, looks suspiciously like a snap from number 11 next door. Surely someone didn't save it for a rainy day. Anyway, need someone to defend it. Hands up. Anyone? Anyone other than Dom? OK, all right then. Yes, have a go. Here's the line. Business meeting. Essential work things allowed.
There's wine on the table, there's cheese there, there's at least 14, 15 other people in the garden.
And that's because it's a place of work. They're all in suits.
That's it. Wearing a suit must be work. Justify that to the people wearing pyjamas to work on Zoom. Boris had just given a presser try, Dom. Don't begrudge him chill-out time. Except he hadn't. It was hands, face, arse Matt Hancock getting busy. No, not like that. Try Nick Ferrari, mate. He's normally good-humoured with the Tories, even when he's acting all tough.
When did you last take your wife and infant child to a business meeting where there was cheese and wine?
For the life of me, I can't remember. But the difference
Have you ever taken your wife and one of your infant children to a business meeting where cheese and wine was taken?
No, but I don't live and work in the same building and work, and frankly, notwithstanding how high-pressured and long hours that every cabinet minister works, I don't think it's quite the same as the situation the Prime Minister is in.
Mr. Rubb, you and I have known each other for some time. Are you honestly telling me you see this as a business meeting?
I think it was a work. I think Number 10 Garden is used for work meetings.
I'm not sure he's chuckling with you there. Kept it cool, though. Whatever you do, don't get flustered or angry.
Sorry, you're doing the usual thing of trying to sort of rant and berate me.
You're doing the usual thing, Mr. Robb, and not answering the question.
Yeah, why not have a row with a dill? That'll put him off the scent a bit. Dom's not the only one getting a bit testy. The public are revolting, aren't they? Did you see them at the darts? Normally Boris fans, I think. Great bunch of lads. Just wanted Brexit done. At least it makes a change from shouting 180. The football fans might still be on side. At least Boris hasn't cancelled all the matches. Yet.
Boris Johnson is a cunt. Boris Johnson is a cunt.
Oh, good day for the VAR at least. There was a massive protest in the capital too. Lots of anger over vaccine passports and mandatory jabs. Thousands there. Did you see it? Not if you were watching the Beeb.
The Mayor of London declares a major incident after a rapid rise in Omicron cases.
We're incredibly concerned by the huge surge in the Omicron variant. Over the last 24 hours, we've had the largest number of new cases since this pandemic began.
Wow! A major incident bumped the protest off the bulletin. What can it mean? Oh, the mayor's just said it's all a massive worry. I could have told him that. I'm sure something else was happening.
Anti-lockdown protesters in central London this evening as tensions rose outside Number 10. Some protesters clashing with police.
Yep, there they are. Maybe the Beeb missed it or didn't have a camera. That must be it. Can't be because it wasn't that important. That would be mad. The BBC is very good at taking the government line, though. Sorry, did I say that? I meant setting a good example.
Welcome to our audience here in Stoke-on-Trent, all masked up.
Aren't you clever? Gold star, Fiona. You'll make a Laura Kuenssberg yet. Except, bit tricky with a debate.
The man at the back. I'm a woman. I'm so sorry, because you got your mask on, I couldn't see. Plus, I'm a bit short-sighted.
Too many excuses, Fiona. A little bit Prince Andrew-y. But if Fiona was on message, the audience went a bit rogue. Second week, they tried to discuss all those draconian powers the government are slipping through on the QT.
We're losing sight of all the other things that we should be talking about in terms of what's going through Parliament at the moment, which are very important to a lot of people as well. And I refer to the Police and Crime and Evidence Bill, for one. There's many more than that, and the points that are in those bills are.
So you think we're focusing too much on COVID?
Christ, you're quick. Discuss it? Nah, sorry. Stick with COVID. We know best. Or do something fluffy. Is that a young Tom Hardy? Get him involved.
Are you clear what you should and should not be doing over Christmas?
Well, not really. I think that it's probably going to change at least 3 or 4 times before I actually sit down to eat my Christmas dinner, and who I end up eating it with, we'll see.
I think we just saw, to be fair. Something going on between him and Lisa Nandy. Don't give it away, you're on telly. Electric atmosphere. Where were we? Oh, yes, COVID. Almost forgot. Yes, no restrictions. Be careful. It's your fault if it all goes wrong, isn't it? Don't say we didn't warn you. At least Boris can take a bit of time, reflect, discover the true meaning of Christmas. Few wise words from the churchy types.
Does the Prime Minister need to be more honest?
What do you think? Pretty damning verdict from a man of the cloth on the man who's touching it. Sure, the PM can claim it's better than 2020, the Christmas bit, at least for a few days. If the gamble doesn't pay off, and as Boris likes to say, the bodies pile high, he could be out the door quicker than you can say, is this actually worse than last year? How's Brexit going? Feels like the right time to check in, a year on from the end of the transition period. 2 since Boris Johnson won power on that single issue.
This is the perfect metaphor for what we're going to do in the run-up to Christmas. If we can get a working majority, we have a deal, it's ready to go. You saw how easy it is. We put it in, slam it in the oven, take it out, there it is, get Brexit done.
Yes, the perfect metaphor indeed. Boris there forgetting to read the small print. Make sure you defrost it beforehand or you get a right stomachache. Now it has been defrosted. Yes, David Frost, Lord Frost to you, the guy in charge of it all, has quit. The papers had a field day, didn't they? No, not because of the actual story, because he's got a seasonal name. Bit like Jack Frost, Frosty the No Man, Frosty the Go Man. Look, I did it too. It's infectious, isn't it? No, we're not talking about COVID again. So, why did he go? If you saw the BBC website, maybe you thought it was because John Waite got pipped in Strictly. More likely because he hated the Brexit deal. David, not John, though they probably both did. The Northern Ireland stuff was a massive mess. Frosty wanted out of the European Court too. The unelected Lord Frost spent the last year standing up to those unelected EU bullies, threatened to trigger Article 16, basically rip it all up, if he didn't make them see sense.
The problem with the protocol at the moment is that EU law is with the ECJ as the enforcer of it, is applied in Northern Ireland without any sort of democratic process. So that, I think, has to change.
Nice one, Frosty. Just you wait until we get our hands on the total bellend who signed it all off. Oh, right, him. No, it's okay. His hands were probably tied by the numbnuts who negotiated it. Dominic Raab? Oh no, Frosty again. How soon we forget. So, it's pretty clear then. The guy who did the thing finally quit when he realised it was all unworkable.
I left the government because, as I think is well known, I couldn't support certain policies, most recently on COVID restrictions and Plan B.
That's lucky, isn't it? He's gone because of the COVID stuff. Actually, he was meant to go in January, but the Mail on Sunday got wind of it early, which makes it all a little less likely. Not good news for the Brexit hardliners, the so-called Tory Spartans. Frosty was their guy, tough, ruthless. What will the PM do without him? Angry scenes in a 100-strong WhatsApp group. They've kicked Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries out for praising Boris. Enough is enough, said Brexit hardman Steve Baker. Nice emoji. Who's in? Needs to be someone with gravitas, someone serious. Not a lot of those around.
We import 2/3 of our cheese. That is a disgrace.
Yeah, it's Liz, isn't it? Already Foreign Secretary, this Brexit thing won't take up much of her time, especially if she stops arsing about on tanks in Estonia. On the case already, she's going to scrap the whole deal if she doesn't get her way. Yes, Liz, well done. I think the EU lot might have broken up for Christmas. Give them a call in the new year, or send a lovely festive round-robin about all your news. It'll go down a tree. I mean, Boris could have gone with her predecessor, Dom. Screwed up Afghanistan, time to give Brexit a go. Oh, wait, I feel like he had a go before.
I hadn't quite understood the full extent of this.
Yeah, you fucked it up already, didn't you? Some guy was doing it before him. The Cabinet Office Minister, I think, Reginald Barclay. David Buckley. No, Stephen. That was it.
First of all, who are you? Well, I saw that on your tweet, Pierre, so I thought I'd best come in to address it.
I guess he could have had a go again if Boris had remembered who he was. And there was someone else before him. Thick as mince, lazy as a toad. Yeah, friends can be cruel, can't they?
I don't have to be very clever. I don't have to know that much.
Yes, it's been quite a roster of talent, hasn't it? The political sugar babes. At least they've been a consistent bunch.
I think the people in this country have had enough of experts.
Yeah, thank God none of those had a go. Suddenly, old Frosty, the man who single-handedly made himself a shit sandwich and then refused to eat it, is looking like the sanest guy in the room. Let's catch up on those investigations into all the COVID rule breaking. Great. Thousands of them. Bang to rights, aren't they? Good. We, the heroes, did the right thing. That lot thought they could get away with cheating the system. They thought wrong, didn't they? No one breaks COVID protocol and lives to tell the tale. Hang on, sorry, bit strong. So, how's it all going with that illegal government Christmas party inquiry? Most people are going with alleged, but I'm pretty sure I'm on safe ground.
His fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced.
Yeah, that's the one. The Cabinet Secretary was the man on the case. Yeah, Simon Case. Hard-boiled PI. He'll get to the bottom of it. Seems sensible. And what did he find out? Well, that he had a few parties too. Truly an Inspector Clouseau of our time. Only he's not French. Actually, neither was Peter Sellers. Yes, allegations of a couple of bashes in Clouseau's own offices. Seen nearby, but not actively participating, whatever that means. Maybe walked through and grabbed a few vol au vents. Case is off the case. Maybe he'll carry on sleuthing anyway, like they always do in the cop shows. You're off the investigation, Lieutenant. No, don't worry. I'll crack it, Chief. There's just one or two things that keep going around my head that I need to get straightened out. I just need to follow the guest star around a bit longer until they confess. Oh, just one more thing. It's just that when Mrs. Colombo, when she tries to remember if she had a party, she doesn't need an inquiry, sir. She just checks her diary or asks her sister. Oh, wait. Case isn't out. At least he hasn't been sacked or even suspended. Why would he be? He's only alleged to have broken the law. That makes two of them, him and Boris, who weren't really aware of a party in their own place. Who's doing the investigation now? Well, Mrs. Colombo is. Sue Gray, the second most powerful civil servant from the Department of Levelling Up. Michael Gove's gaff. Really hope they didn't have a party. Relax, it's probably okay. Old Casanova didn't start there until this year. You'd think the police would be investigating all this too, what with allegations of law breaking. Well, thank God the Met's still on side, eh, Boris? Yep, they're still refusing to touch it. Are they trying? They did see the thing before.
His fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced.
La, 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 we can't see it. Fingers in ears. All still allegations. There's no evidence, so we can't investigate. Because that's how crime fighting works, isn't it? Oh, they are now investigating the one at Tory Party HQ thrown by the guy who fucked up his bid for mayor. That's all retrospective too, though. See, it seems a bit weird. Someone bring this up with the chief.
Ma'am, I must protest. Last week, senior officers who work in this building issued a statement declaring they would not be investigating the unlawful Christmas party held in Downing Street last year. The statement claimed a criminal inquiry is not possible because there is, quote, an absence of evidence. Correct me if I'm wrong here, ma'am, but the whole purpose of a police inquiry is to gather evidence. But because your officers are unwilling to get off their backsides and find it, my team are bringing that evidence direct to Scotland Yard.
Sounds quite a bit like Ted Hastings from Line of Duty, doesn't it? Met Chief Cressida Dick says she's not a fan of that show. All that dodgy stuff AC-12 investigates bears no resemblance to what really goes on.
There is no corruption in this police force.
A barefaced liar, promoted to our highest office.
You should investigate.
Believe me, we will.
No, you won't, Steve, mate. Get back to your desk and wait for the evidence to arrive. By the book, son. We're at that bit of Christmas telly time when the adverts are really starting to grate, aren't we? If I have to sit through an anthropomorphic pig on a rampage, a fruit-themed version of A Christmas Carol, or feeding the birds to the tune of Bloody Adele, I am going to burn them and dance in the ashes. Now, I don't want to get all, this year's a bit different though, but this year is a bit different though. Some have dated a bit. A lot.
This Christmas, nothing's stopping us.
Ugh, awkward now it's all a bit scary and COVID-y again. Not very be safe, be cautious. Some brands are having really bad luck, like Peloton, those indoor bikes. Had a rubbish Christmas a few years back, got accused of sexism for showing a bloke giving his wife one. The bike, grow up. Sexual innuendo! And actually pretty rich coming from the Sun. This year, perfect. The bike's in that hot new show, and just like that. Biography of Tommy Cooper. Odd choice. No, that's not it. It's the Sex and the City reboot. Great. Carrie's bloke, Mr. Big, rides one, doesn't he? Brilliant.
And just like that, Big died.
Crap! He's had a heart attack on it in the first episode, hasn't he? Someone did check our product placement with the scriptwriters. Oh, don't worry, got an idea. Do an advert with Chris Noth, the guy who plays him.
To new beginnings.
To new beginnings. You look great.
I feel great.
Yes, he's alive. The bike probably staved off his heart attack. Must have been the steaks and cigars. Put that line out too. Merry Christmas, Chris. What the fuck? Sexual assault? Allegations, though. Still innocent until proven guilty. No, quick, take it down. We're better off with him dead. At least you can rely on good old John Lewis to get an advert right. What's theirs? Oh, it's the boy falling in love with the alien. Oh, God, that's their one? Nothing says love like a crappy music box. It's a tearjerker, isn't it? Tugs at the heartstrings. Nope. Too woke, too welcoming of foreigners. Why not have something traditional, like a person from another world coming to show us the true meaning of Christmas? No, not the alien. The song's problematic too, isn't it? I know. Murdered Electric Dreams. No, some musicians said they'd nicked it. Seriously, I'd keep quiet about that. Oh, and the climate message was wrong. Alien spaceships damage the planet, don't they? I thought we could rely on this one at least. Not like the good old days with the trampolining dog, the CGI penguins, or the snowman ripoff. Actually, none of them were any good. Oh, except that one about the bear. Remember? His friend the hare got him an alarm clock for Christmas, which woke him up on Christmas Day. Unfortunately, that messed with his vital hibernation sleep cycles, meaning he had a heart attack on New Year's Day. Several other hares made allegations too, and just like that, it all got too dark. Where did COVID come from? Yes, we're back here, aren't we? Sorry. Back to the China lab leak stuff. All the usual suspects jumped on it. The Mail, the Metro, same publisher, coincidence? The Telegraph. Before we get into this, again, look, no one's ever said it's not possible. Even the World Health Organization, even though it says it's all extremely unlikely. Yes, the WHO, that shadowy bunch of experts that the conspiracy guys think are in China's pocket. If so, that cash isn't doing its job, is it? I mean, seriously. And now it's all a cover-up, right? That's the latest line. From who? Well, Dr. Alina Chan from Harvard and MIT. The lab leak's more likely, isn't it? Isn't it? Why? Well, we've seen from previous cover-ups, she told MPs. Hang on, that's quite an assumption. Anyway, we've seen that it just takes time. It's not safe for people to come forward. It's a little bit X-Files. Hard to be proved wrong if the whistleblower's always coming soon. Any new evidence? Oh, she's written about it. Peer-reviewed paper? Actually, mass market photo with Matt Ridley. You know, the popular science equivalent of James Patterson. In the House of Lords. Because he's an eminent scientist? Nah, because his dad was a lord too. Even the description on Amazon says their book reads like a detective novel. And the Guardian review was brutal. Was COVID made in a lab? Well, if it was, there's not a shred of evidence here. Now, part of the reason why this lab leak stuff keeps coming back is that the scientists rarely rule anything out, even if it's madness. Proper science does consider all possibilities. That's kind of the point. That's not really good enough for the media or a pop science book. It'd all be pretty dull if there wasn't a lot of murky stuff to spin, wouldn't it? But the lines are drawn. We have our heroes, so who are the villains? Well, the Mail also took a bit of time to rubbish both the controversial scientist Dr. Peter Daszak and the Lancet Journal. Remember, Dr. Peter was behind a letter they published last year which condemned lab leak conspiracy types. Well, they've both got links to China, right? The Lancet's got an office there, and they both received awards from Beijing. Proof! Actually, Daszak says his years of experience working in China on bat coronaviruses is exactly why he should be listened to. Or would you rather have some bloke who hasn't done that tell you it's all a conspiracy? Sad news this week for fans of impartial, robust reporting. Yes, Laura Kuenssberg, the BBC's long-serving political editor, has finally quit. Well, in a bit. Easter next year, actually. Like one of her reports, I guess, never has a proper end, just kind of tails off. £250,000 a year of our cash is so hard to just give up instantly, isn't it? Ah, she got some great scoops, didn't she? Remember that one about the Queen supposedly backing Brexit? No, not one of hers. But she did say that she knew about it too, 9 months later. Nice one. With legendary reporters like her, it's so hard to work out where their true sympathies lie, isn't it? No, stop it. All that stuff about her being the PM's unofficial spokesperson is complete nonsense. OK, so she was apparently former Chief Aide Dominic Cummings' favourite news hound. Probably something to do with her rubbishing the Mirror's scoop about his ludicrous lockdown trip to Durham. Quoted a source, probably him, saying it was all within the guidelines, within half an hour of the story breaking. Fast work. But that's just a one-off, isn't it? Oh, she got the only sit-down interview with him too, forgot that. He's a good contact, that's all. What about her election coverage? Very balanced, brilliant stuff there, right? She broke that story about a Labour activist punching a Tory aide. Except, did that happen? Let's check out the video.
These people have devastated our country! I pointed my hand that you walked into it.
Yeah, not really a punch at all, was it? She did delete the tweet and apologised. In fairness, Robert Peston did too, but I forgive him because, well, he was probably led astray. Poor Robert. Diddums. Wonder where they got it from anyway. Sure, Labour activist, but it might have been a Tory one. Wasn't, but might have been. Ah, there was another run-in that was caught on camera too, wasn't there? Just before the pandemic. Remember that father with a sick child who had a go at the PM over NHS cuts?
The NHS has been destroyed. It's been destroyed. It's been destroyed. And now you come here for a press opportunity.
That's all a bit embarrassing. Don't worry, Laura has the details. Labour activist again, isn't he? So he doesn't have a sick child. What a bastard. Oh, no, that bit's right. So what? He shouldn't have an opinion? We should all pile in on him? Don't worry, said the Beeb. Everyone here's happy there was no malicious intent. So that's all right then. It's hard to deny old Laura's had a, let's say, tricky relationship with the left, particularly stark with former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn. Probably just a personality clash, that must have been it. Yes, this was her 2015 report about Jezza's view on shoot to kill. You know, police gunning down terrorists. She said she'd asked about whether he'd be happy for officers to pull the trigger in the event of a Paris-style attack on London.
I'm not happy with the shoot-to-kill policy in general. I think that is quite dangerous and I think can often be counterproductive.
Crikey, don't put him in charge of keeping us safe. If shooting people without evidence was wrong, how would Cressida Dick ever get promoted? Except he didn't say that. At least not in response to that question. The question she asked was a more general one about the policy. And here's the actual exchange with the question she said she'd asked.
If we saw the kinds of horror in Paris here, if you were Prime Minister, would you order security services onto the street to stop people being killed?
Of course you bring people onto the streets to prevent and ensure there is safety within our society.
A bit different, isn't it? It's all right, though. The BBC Trust said there was no evidence of bias or intent, just inaccurately reported his views. It's all OK, again. But it didn't stop the Tories or their media backers using it at the election 2 years later, just after the Borough Market attacks. And it didn't help that the Beeb failed to make either the date of the interview or the controversy about it clear on its own website. Oh, it was changed the day before the election. Well done. Look, it's all just the rough and tumble of political reporting, isn't it? I'm sure she's done lots of stuff right, like, Oh, What about when the government decided to break its promise and hike national insurance? She was accused of bias, sure, but I think her report speaks for itself. Spoke truth to power.
To show to the country, which Boris Johnson is very keen to do, whatever you think of him, that this was a difficult problem and he does actually intend to keep his promise to fix it.
Yes, all very difficult. Does intend to keep his promise, doesn't he? And what about when she had a proper go about the Downing Street parties? Maybe she wasn't on the guest list.
How can you stand at that lectern, exactly where some of your team laughed and joked about COVID rules, and tell people they must now follow your new instructions? And are you really asking the public to believe that you had no idea what was going on under your own roof?
Actually, the first thing I want to say, thanks very much, Laura.
Yes, thanks, Laura. Go on, make it look like a good rollicking. Yes, well done! Let no one say you didn't ask the tough stuff. Actually, maybe that was the point. It was only the week before last. So where's Laura off to? Well, Radio 4's Today programme, probably. And who might be next in line? Well, if you believe his own spin, the guy doing that job already, Amal Rajan. Nice musical chairs. Who's he? Haven't you been watching? Did that crappy BBC hit piece on the royals to show off his anti-establishment credentials. Yes, he'll hold the government to account. Oh, he's also been accused of cozying up to the Tories. By who? Probably a Labour activist. Ah, the Christmas blockbuster. The big festive family movie everyone wants to see. Or at least they will if the cinemas stay open. The mainstream media goes crazy for it. Why? Well, there's knack all else to talk about. If it's a cracker, we'll ride the wave of goodwill, cash in a bit. If it's a turkey, give it a free pass. We'll get loads of column inches out of it anyway. This year, Spider-Man! Massive hit. Cinemas need a boost. Everyone loves it. Hang on, Spider-Man again? Are you sure? Haven't we done that one? Yep, we're on the 8th Spidey film since 2002, and the 3rd version of him, not including the cartoon with loads of them. Tobey Maguire did 3 films, Andrew Garfield managed 2, Tom Holland's the latest kid in the tights. Had enough? I'm sorry, but there's only so many times I can watch another version of Uncle Ben getting gunned down in cold blood. At least the latest reboot did finally go with a hot version of Spidey's Aunt May, didn't it? Either that or I've aged 20 years in the past. Oh, God, 20 years. Anyway, the new film looks like a mashup of all the Spidey films. Something about multiple dimensions, the multiverse, lots of villains returning from the old ones.
From every universe.
Hello, Peter. You're not Peter Parker.
Don't want to spoil it, but there's a lot of chatter about the other 2 Spideys turning up too. That's enough plot. Is it any good? Well, the trashy papers, the red tops, went nuts. 4 stars from The Sun, web zinger. See what they did there? The Star loved it too. Got a bit too excited. Promised a spoiler-free review. Achieved it right up until the bit where Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire reprised it. No, stop it! Did they even try? And the more highbrow papers like to be part of the zeitgeist too, but in that sneering, smug, superior way. The Guardian says it slickly levels up. Not sure what that really means. Bit political. Dodgy dialogue from Benedict Cumberbatch. Look, he's playing a wizard. What did you expect, Dr. Strangelove? And the Eye gives it 3 stars too. The plot defies common sense is the verdict. No shit. All those multiverse-hopping Spider-Men. Sorry, might be Spider-Man. We don't know about that yet. What about the related crap? Not about the movie itself, just the papers using it to print more guff. Well, Tom Holland's the hot property, and both sides of the culture war lay claim to him. The wokies and the telling it like it is brigade. On the one hand, what a modern young man he is. Look, here he is breaking off from a red carpet chat to watch his Are They Aren't They co-star Zendaya arrive.
I think Zendaya just showed up. I think Zendaya just showed up.
You dick, we've only got 2 minutes. No, he's a hero, isn't he? Cutest thing ever, said the sycophants. The fans. And they praised him for calling out the paps, didn't they? Said photos of them smooching robbed them of their privacy. Not really how it works, though, is it? Maybe don't kiss her in public. And now he wants a career break to start a family. Moves fast, doesn't he? Thought you wanted privacy. The likes of the Mail and the Express normally hate those who love privacy. Or maybe they just hate Meghan Markle. Love Tom, though, don't they? Yes, love him. Sorry, Tom, can you stand out of the way? Need another shot of Zendaya. She wore a dress, didn't she? Bit like Webb's. Looks great, steals the show. The Mail's a bit cleverer than the Express here. She's a bit taller too. That's the story, isn't it? We're not just writing about a dress. There's some journalism gone into this. Oh, but don't miss the other stories we ran about how she wore a dress on other occasions. They went for dinner. They were in Paris. There's her legs again. Look, we're not obsessed and we're not being sexist. We also do the same about Tom, don't we? Here's a couple we did for you. The Spidey suit's got a bit tight around his knackers, and he once farted in it. Same thing entirely. No, they do love Tom too, but in a different way. Bit of a lad, has cheeky banter with the old man, like that time they couldn't stop boozing. Yes, his dad Dom, a great right-of-centre comedian. None of that woke stuff. Need a few more of them. Old Tom's got his head screwed on all right for us in the Common Sense Brigade. Dom wrote the book on bringing up a sensible stage school kid. No, I mean, he literally wrote it. How Tom Holland Eclipsed His Dad. Available now. There's a man who knows a cash-in. Away from the stars and hangers-on, any other crap we can print? Of course there is. Yes, the boffins say Marvel superhero lifestyles are bad for their health. Yep, don't be like them. What did the scientists do? Watched the Marvel Avengers films. Yep, that's it. Who paid for that? Warner Brothers? Let's indulge it a bit. Why is their health at risk? Well, Spidey doesn't get enough sleep because he's up late protecting the streets. Iron Man's got weak bones from going into space. Oh, and the Hulk's got anger issues. No shit. And I mean, sure, but you know they aren't real, right? I'm pretty sure being bitten by a radioactive spider, having an electromagnet in your chest, and being exposed to a shed load of gamma radiation which turns you green also isn't great for those guys. OK, no, I get it. Lots of sleep, don't be angry, don't go into space. Are you OK? From the Star, bit crass. They did run the health problems in later life garbage, but somehow made it about the actress who used to play Wonder Woman? Still looks great, doesn't she? She's not played her for years, she's not really Wonder Woman, and the character's not even in the Avengers stuff, but hey, nice angle. Even did an editorial on it. Good to see the casual ageism gags are still there. And speaking of the older generation, don't worry if your readers are getting on a bit and don't have a clue about any of this. Just ease them into it. The Express's Virginia Blackburn gives us a hilarious day in the life of a health-conscious Batman. Yes, gags aplenty about avoiding caffeine, moaning about the rain and forgetting about the thermal undies. No shit. Please, no shit. It's been quite a year for fans of old white blokes fucking off, hasn't it? Not you, Uncle Bill. Not you. You're here till Boxing Day, aren't you? Stick the telly on, there's probably a war film on or something. Wait, we haven't even had the Brexit row yet. Oh, if you must. M25, M4. Yeah. I mean old white blokes on the telly, of course. Eamon Holmes from This Morning, Sky's Adam Bolton, Simon McCoy at GB News and Andrew Marr, the man from Auntie.
I have been wondering how to close this final show, but I can't do better than quoting my great mentor. You stay classy, San Diego.
Finger on the pulse, bang on the zeitgeist with a film reference nearly 20 years out of date. You remember? Anchorman. He'll read anything if it's on auto cue.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Preferred it Ron's way, to be honest, and that's exactly what Andy's done to the Beeb after more than 2 decades. Told them to go fuck themselves. Off to LBC to tell it like it is. Think Eamon Holmes wanted the freedom too. He was just so stifled after 15 years on This Morning. Got into a heap of trouble for speaking his mind.
Your hair reminds me of an alpaca today. Actually, so it does. You just want to pet it, don't you?
Adam Bolton's had a little longer at Sky. He's switching off after more than 3 decades. This was a guy who went on and on, even in the most challenging circumstances.
If we look at, the changing complexion of this cabinet compared to the last one, the one yesterday, what we can see is that
Adam,
so-called
do you want to take a pause?
Yep.
Do you want to take a pause?
No,
Because they've been talking non-stop. You OK?
No, I swallowed a fly.
Mutual decision, Adam told the papers. They want the new generation. Essentially, you're past it, mate. Old school when it came to the youngsters was Adam, like Beth Rigby. Could see what a tearaway she was long before her 3-month ban for going to a party during lockdown. Yeah, Kay Burley's. If only you'd both listen to Adam.
Sit down there. Stop fucking around.
Exactly. Get to the point. Will people just get on with the job? Stop getting distracted.
Boris will have my full support as he does that.
Well, I don't know why he's talking to a tree.
Not afraid of a good old Barney either. Remember when Gordon Brown wouldn't leave Downing Street in 2010? Bit of doubt, wasn't there? He hadn't technically lost, but David Cameron hadn't got enough seats. Someone seemed a little grumpy about that.
Adam, you're obviously upset that David Cameron's not
I'm
Prime
not
Minister.
upset.
You are. You probably are.
Don't keep casting aspersions on what I think.
Calm down.
I am commenting. Don't keep saying what I think.
This is live on television.
No, don't keep telling me what I think. This is what you do. You come on, you say, no one won the election. No, don't. You talk to me. I'm fed up with you telling me what I think.
I don't care what you're fed up with. I don't care what you're fed up with. You can think what you like. I can tell you my opinion.
Don't tell me what I think.
Bolton we knew was coming, or rather going. Marr and Holmes as well. I've ranted about them at length. Episodes 1 and 2 for the fans. The one we didn't see was Simon McCoy. Now there's a guy who makes it all look absolutely effortless, even when everything around him is turning to shit. And there's one TV channel where that's exactly what's happening. GB News. Seemed a match made in heaven. He only joined them in March. Why? What are they playing at? The answer? Well, Eamon Holmes. Yes, him again. Mr. Can I Pet Your Hair? He's in, Simon's out. Might be coincidence? Most outlets save the outgoing guy's blushes. The Telegraph went with the usual personal reasons. Could mean anything. But any pretense vanished quickly. Simon highlighted a spokesman's remarks that he was being replaced, which have weirdly now vanished into the ether, but added his own, "That's nice." Come on! You really want Eamon over him? Simon's the guy with a proven track record in making any old crap look good. Take this. You're on in 5. All set? Got your iPad? No. But I'll make it work.
Good morning and welcome to BBC News. Plans for privately run drunk tanks to tackle alcohol-fueled disorder have been backed by police chiefs.
iPad, ream of paper, who gives a toss? The viewers just want the facts. And at GB News, he wasted no time facing down the critics.
So the person who's just messaged, grow up. You know, we're a new company, we're a new broadcaster, there are systems that we're putting in place that would stop idiots like you getting through. They're getting through at the moment, but please, you know, we've got other things to worry about.
There he is, or rather was, with co-host Alex Phillips. Great chemistry they had. She's now by herself in the afternoons. He was moved to the early shift. Sure, they're still good mates.
How was it getting up at, 3 o'clock this morning?
Yeah.
How was that?
I'll tell you when it kicks in.
Yeah,
I'm not fully with it yet.
He's teasing. He was always good at being awake at the right time.
Let's tell you what, coming up on the BBC News channel has the latest news from home and abroad.
Not sleeping. Waiting. Or midway through bashing his head on the table. Sheer frustration, like Adam Bolton. Simon was a straight shooter too. Someone's having a baby? Yeah, who? Wills and Kate. Really? You want me there? Fine, I'll do it. But I'm not happy.
Plenty more to come from here, of course. None of it news, because that'll come from Buckingham Palace. But that won't stop us.
Last time he fell for that one too. More kids? I'll stay in the studio, thanks.
Just got this coming in from Kensington Palace, news we just got. Their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, are delighted to confirm they are expecting a baby in April. Now, bearing in mind they announced that she was pregnant back in September, and it was thought she was around 2-3 months pregnant. I'm not sure how much news this really is. But anyway, it's April, so clear your diaries, get the time booked off, because that's what I'm doing.
GB News seemed perfect. The BBC's anti-bias obsession, which actually means trying to never have a view on anything, was always clipping his wings. Take the serious politics. Remember when the PM said he liked making cardboard models of buses? An obvious, almost too obvious bit of media trickery so that anyone Googling Boris and bus wouldn't get that embarrassing picture with the fake figure about how much we send to the EU. Simon saw right through it.
I paint the passengers enjoying themselves.
OK, great.
On the wonderful bus.
Wonder what he writes on the side of it.
Maybe Eamon Holmes is a dick. Yeah, good luck, Eamon. You'll need it. And don't worry, Simon, you'll be back. In fact, they all will be. Old white blokes never really go away. They just move chairs. Oh, what? Jon Snow's now gone from Channel 4 News too. Oh, almost missed him. At least he kept it festive. And now, my Scream of the Week.
If you sign up by going to our website and pledging 180 minutes a week for sex... For sex. It actually says for sex in there. It does say. Can you show? I just want someone. Can we show them the prompts? Show them the prompts on 3. There you go. That wasn't me.
Are you sure?
That wasn't me. It's in the prompts.
So that's me, Rhys Lawton, and until next time, I will be watching the mainstream news so you don't have to. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss me singing Auld Lang Syne alone here with the news.